Next up, Darius Robinson, a guy that's been mocked to the Ravens a bunch of times early in the mock draft season. Not so much lately, but solid dude. Darius Robinson, defensive tackle, but he's listed as an edge in damn near every publication. Where is his size? 6'5", 285. For that size, he ran a 4.95. 10-yard split was good at 173. Bench 21 bench, which is red. That's for defensive end, that's not very many. His explosive grade was good. Had 35-inch vertical, broad jump. What was it, 9 feet? And then his agility was bad. But I could tell you from watching tape, his agility was probably gonna be bad because it's tough for him to change directions. But that don't necessarily mean he's a bad football player. It's just tough for him to go real quick. But he's a defensive player. We tend to do that to defensive players. I say we because I played offense. But his RAD score was 7.72 out of 10. As far as his snaps, he's a 5-year player. 2019 at Missouri, he had played 43 snaps with no sacks. 2020, 189 snaps with 1 sack. 2021, 294, 1 sack. 2022, 468 with 3 sacks. And then last year, 515 snaps with 9 sacks. He had 22 tackles last year, also with 42 pressures. Darius Robinson, the Missouri Tigers, 6'5", 296 defensive end. Did he lose weight to combine? Yeah, he lost about 10 pounds for the combine also.
Yeah, this is one of my personal favorites. I love Darius Robinson. If you got it in your head, like the kind of edge rusher that's going to be bendy and, play with that finesse, this is not your guy.
Mm-hmm.
This is a dude. He actually played defensive tackle last year, and this was his first year playing on the edge. And, he came on like gangbusters this season. The captain of the team. We know the Ravens love that.
Mm-hmm.
But this dude, to me, he's that Pernell McPhee type. He's not going to be, doing the ghost move like we were talking about with Booker or anything like that. He's going to go straight through whoever is in front of him. Right. Doesn't matter who. He's going straight through. And he plays with that bull in a china shop kind of style. And, that's great. And, I kind of have to check myself because I fall in love with these kind of players. So although he does that very well, he plays with great violence. He plays with a relentless motor. He also needs to develop a plan too, because those are grown men you're going up against. This is not, you're not going up against an Auburn offensive tackle when you're in the NFL. You're going up against the best of the best. And just being strong and being relentless, like, yeah, it'll get you a couple sacks, but if you really want to take that next step and be one of the premier defenders in the league, you got to have a plan. And right now he doesn't have that plan. He's just relying solely on power and relentlessness. But just as far as that package, the motor, just the intangibles that he has, because when you listen to guys talk about him, you listen to other coaches talk about him, they just have rave reviews about him. And I love though when you get a peek at the intangibles and the kind of person that he is.
Right. What I have for him is he has the strength and size to play all 3 downs. And you can tell, with his frame, 6'5", almost 300 pounds. Played interior and, on the edge. So that's going to help him, with that flexibility to play all 3 downs. He's okay at setting the edge and keeping that outside shoulder free. And I could tell it was kind of new to him because he kind of over exaggerates keeping that outside arm free when people try to run at it. And then he does a good job of shedding tackles. The better tackles kind of, I ain't gonna say whooped him, but they were able to control him a little bit. But tackles that didn't match him in strength, he dominated them.
Mm-hmm.
He just get rid of them and basically step on them and make tackles when they tried to run at him. He has a couple of pass rush moves in his bag, but once I realized that he was a defensive tackle, I understood some of his pass rush moves because they're set up to be power moves. Like they would dominate guards. They don't necessarily work on, tackles who are better at defending some of those moves. But once he, gets with a guy and develops moves better, he'll be better at it. So I can see the potential there from Robinson. And the only negative I had in it, he's kind of robotic. But the agility grade kind of tells me that. the agility grade in the film kind of tells me he's kind of robotic as far as just chasing guys down and trying to change directions. But what he does from snap to 2 seconds can negate that robotic play. The only thing he's robotic in is maybe chasing people down from the other side, but that ain't necessarily really his job. If he can reset the line of scrimmage and keep his outside arm free, those robotic movements don't really matter. It don't really matter. All that matters is if he gets in a one-on-one situation with like a running back, the running back probably gonna juke you. That's where that kind of comes in to play at. And you can get more flexible, but you really either got it or you don't there. And that don't mean you can't be a good football player. So me putting robotic on that's not saying he sucks. That's just I noticed that he ain't as fluent in his hips and his change of direction, stuff like that. But I like him. I just, I know like early in the draft season, a lot of people mocked him to us, but lately it hadn't really happened. I guess because of the O-line situation. But I'm cool with Robinson. I don't know if 30's the number, but if we get him out, I think Chuck would love to have that nice ball of clay right there.
Yes, sir.